There comes a moment when you realize rushing, forcing, chasing, and worrying has never changed anything, only exhausted your heart. You've cried, overthought, and tried to control every outcome. Yet the results were always in the hands of Allah from the very beginning. Sometimes Allah delays what you're praying for, not because He said no, but because He's aligning the right moment, the right people, and the right blessing for your life. The calmer you become, the clearer your path gets. The more you trust Allah, the faster things fall into place. The dunya teaches you to hustle harder, but Allah teaches you, be still and watch my plan unfold. When you stop begging for what isn't written and start trusting the one who writes destiny itself, peace replaces panic, certainty replaces fear, and blessings start arriving without you chasing them. Calm isn't weakness. Calm is faith. And nothing attracts Allah's miracles more than a heart that quietly says, Ya Allah, I trust you. One Eid, calm is proof that you trust Allah's timing. When a believer learns to stay calm during uncertainty, it means their heart has finally understood who is in control. It means they no longer rush what Allah has already promised, and they no longer fear what Allah has already protected them from. Calm doesn't come from perfect circumstances, it comes from perfect trust. When your heart whispers, Allah has already written my story, the panic inside you begins to die. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop chasing signs. You stop fearing delays. Because you know every second is unfolding exactly as Allah planned. Calm is not a lack of emotion, it is a presence of faith. It is choosing to breathe when the world says panic. It is choosing to wait when your mind says hurry. It is choosing to smile when life becomes heavy. You're not ignoring reality. You're remembering who controls reality. A heart that trusts Allah is the heart that can sleep peacefully even when the future is unclear, because it knows that Qadr is never late. Blessings arrive at the right moment, in the right form, in the right place. When you are calm, you're telling Allah through your actions, I believe you will provide. I believe you will choose what's best. I believe you will take care of me. It's easy to trust Allah when everything is going your way. But true faith shows itself when nothing makes sense, and you still say, Alhamdulillah. Calm is the proof that your trust isn't based on comfort, it's based on conviction. An anxious heart tries to control what only Allah can control. A calm heart hands the pen back to the author of destiny and says, write for me, because your plan is better than my desire. You begin to choose surrender over stress, patience over panic, tawakkul over overthinking. And suddenly, your chest feels lighter because you stopped fighting the decree that was always written to elevate you, not break you. Calm is a sign that you finally understand that delays are not punishments, they are preparation. Allah knows what you are not ready for yet. He knows the perfect timing for every dream you pray about. Sometimes, He slows things down so that your heart grows stronger, your character grows wiser, and your soul grows closer to Him. When your iman becomes deep enough to handle the blessing, that is when it arrives effortlessly. Your calm is also a shield from shaitan. The moment he sees fear in your heart, he feeds it. The moment he sees panic in your eyes, he magnifies it. But when you remain calm, when you anchor your heart in Allah, His whispers lose power. Your silence becomes strength. Your stillness becomes protection. Your peace becomes a declaration. My Lord is with me. The calmer you become, the more clearly you see that everything you begged for is already making its way to you. Every prayer you cried, every wish you buried, every hope you whispered, none of it was forgotten. Allah doesn't delay to deny you. He delays to deliver in the most beautiful way. Calm means you believe in that beauty before you see it. So stay calm when things shift. Stay calm when doors close. Stay calm when the path looks unclear. Because calm isn't giving up. Calm is handing everything over to the one who has never failed you. And a heart that learns to be calm with Allah will soon witness blessings that make every moment of patience worth it. 2-1. When you stop chasing, what's written starts coming. There is a moment in life where Allah teaches you the most powerful spiritual law. What is written for you will reach you when you stop running after it and start walking with Him. Chasing creates desperation. Desperation clouds judgment. And when you're desperate, you cling to anything that looks like a blessing, even if it was actually sent as a test. But when you stop chasing and start trusting, Allah filters out the distractions and guides what is truly meant for you directly into your hands. Blessings are not caught by force. They arrive by decree. People who chase constantly live exhausted. They try to make everything happen by their own effort. Love, careers, friendships, status, and they break their own hearts every time something slips away. But the truth is, if a blessing needs you to beg, force, or constantly prove yourself to keep it, it was never a blessing. It was a burden disguised as hope. What is meant for you will not require you to lose your dignity to attain it. Allah doesn't make you chase what He has already written with your name on it. When you stop chasing, you create space. Space for Allah to move circumstances. Space for your heart to heal. Space for better opportunities that were previously blocked by your desperation. Sometimes the reason you haven't received what you prayed for is because you were chasing what was never yours, leaving no room for what actually is. Release the chase, and you release the obstacle, standing between you and what is divinely yours. Chasing people especially leads to heartbreak. The one you run after will always run farther. The one you beg to stay will always leave quicker. Why? Because love that is written doesn't require pursuit. It arrives with honor, protection, and peace. Allah removes those who were never meant to walk into your future because He knows their presence would damage your heart or delay your destiny. The day you stop chasing love, that is the day love starts finding you. Allah wants you to live with dignity, not desperation. Dignity comes when you trust the giver more than the gift. When you believe that if it's written, no human being can block it, and if it's not written, no amount of chasing can make it yours. Your heart becomes stronger when it understands that provision doesn't come from people, it comes from the One who controls every heart, every opportunity, every outcome. Stopping the chase doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop forcing. You still work, but without attachment to results. You still love, but without losing yourself. You still dream, but without panicking about the how. You replace chasing with dua. You replace forcing with tawakkul. You replace fear with certainty. And that shift turns your effort into worship. And worship brings miracles. You'll notice that when you stop chasing, good things begin to pursue you. The right people show up. The right opportunities appear. The path becomes smoother. Your heart feels lighter. This isn't magic, it's alignment. You finally moved out of the way, so Allah could move everything into place. Your calm becomes a magnet for the blessings already written in your name. So, let go of the chase. What's yours has already started moving toward you. What's not yours will only exhaust you. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the writer of your destiny. Because when you take a step back and allow Allah to take the lead, you won't have to run after anything. Everything written will start running toward you. Trib, worry doesn't change, Qadr. Dua does. Your heart can be full of worry, your mind can be full of fear, and your nights can be full of overthinking, but none of that will ever change what Allah has written for you. Qadr doesn't bow to anxiety. Destiny doesn't shift because of stress. What will be yours will arrive even if the world stands against it. And what isn't yours will leave even if the world fights to keep it. Worry only exhausts you. But dua has the power to rewrite outcomes by the permission of Allah. When you replace overthinking with prayer, that's when life begins to shift. Worry is a sign that the heart is trying to control what only Allah controls. And the more you try to control destiny, the more powerless you feel. You fear the future, you regret the past, and you ignore the peace available in the present. But dua reminds you that you don't have to figure everything out. You just have to call upon the One who already has. Every moment spent worrying is a moment wasted, while every moment spent in dua is a moment invested toward a better outcome. Allah never asked you to carry the burden of the future. He only asked you to trust Him with it. When something scares you, your mind will say, "What if?" But your dua should say, "Ya Allah, take care of me." Worry closes the heart. Dua opens it. Worry drains your strength. Dua restores it. Worry weakens your soul. Dua revives it. And the truth is, every dua you make is planting seeds for a future you cannot yet see. But Allah is already nurturing. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that dua can change Qadr. That is how powerful a believer's prayer is. While worry paralyzes you, dua pushes destiny forward. While fear locks you down, dua unlocks doors you didn't know existed. While overthinking makes everything feel impossible, dua reminds you that Allah can do the impossible. Your dua reaches places you can't. It travels to skies you cannot touch. It is written in a realm where miracles begin. Worry destroys your health, your sleep, your focus, your spirit, and still gives you nothing in return. But dua gives you everything: peace in your chest, clarity in your mind, and strength in your heart. Dua doesn't only change your destiny, it changes you. It softens your character, purifies your intentions, and deepens your relationship with Allah. The more you talk to Him, the less you fear life. The more you rely on Him, the less weight the world holds over you. Some of the greatest blessings you'll ever receive will come from du'as you made when you were worried, when your voice was shaking, when your heart was breaking, when you didn't even know what to ask for. Allah heard those moments clearly. Not a single tear fell unnoticed. Not a single whisper went unheard. Dua is never wasted, even when the answer is delayed. It is still unfolding behind the scenes. Every worry you feel is a reminder to make dua. Every fear you carry is an invitation to surrender. Allah allows worry not to torture you, but to redirect you to Him. He wants your voice. He wants your heart. He wants you to ask, so He can give. He wants you to trust, so He can show you what trust brings. He wants you to stop venting to the world and start praying to the one who can actually solve the problem. So when your mind starts racing and your heart begins to panic, pause and raise your hands. Say, Ya Allah, You are in control. I leave it all to You. Because worry does nothing but harm you, while dua does nothing but elevate you. Place your fear in the hands of the most merciful, and watch how Qadr begins to work in your favor. Your dua is your weapon. Your dua is your solution. Your dua is the bridge between where you are and the place Allah is preparing for you. 4H. Chill the heart, and Allah opens the doors. There are times when panic blinds you from seeing the blessings that are already coming toward you. When you're anxious, you rush decisions, force outcomes, and cling to what is slipping away. But the moment you calm your heart and let Allah take control, doors start opening without you pushing them. Tranquility is not laziness, it is belief. When your heart becomes still, Allah's help becomes clear. The door that looked locked suddenly starts moving. The path that looked blocked begins to unfold, and the blessing that felt distant starts approaching you with ease. A calm heart is a heart that believes Allah is already working in its favor. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to beg the world. You don't need to overthink every step. Stress makes you believe everything depends on you, but calm reminds you that everything depends on Him. When your heart is at peace, your soul finally steps aside enough to let Allah's plan take the lead. And His plan will always be better than the one you tried to design yourself. Sometimes what stands between you and a breakthrough is not effort, it's panic. When fear grows inside you, it blocks your vision. You start doubting yourself, doubting your worth, and doubting Allah's care. But when you relax and surrender your worries to Him, the heaviness starts to melt. Broken pieces come together, delays turn into opportunities. What once felt complicated becomes beautifully simple. Peace is a sign that you trust Allah more than the fear that tries to control you. Chilling your heart doesn't mean ignoring problems, it means refusing to drown in them. It means reminding yourself that every test was written with a solution, and every hardship was sent with ease hidden inside it. It means you do your best, while believing that Allah will do the rest. You keep walking, keep praying, keep hoping, but without carrying the burden of outcomes on your own shoulders. That shift in mindset changes everything. If you look back at your life, you'll notice that the best things often happened when you finally let go. The moment you stopped chasing someone, they noticed. The moment you stopped stressing over something, it worked out. The moment you stopped begging for the wrong door to open, Allah showed you the right one. Letting your heart chill opens a spiritual gateway. It tells Allah that you trust His timing more than your timeline. Allah doesn't delay to frustrate you. He delays to perfect what is coming. The heart that is rushed cannot appreciate blessings properly, and the heart filled with fear cannot carry blessings responsibly. So Allah slows everything down until your heart learns peace. And once your heart is settled, He speeds life up in ways you never expected. Calmness is not a pause, it is preparation. A calm heart is a magnet for good. It attracts clarity, patience, barakah, and the right opportunities. People are drawn to someone whose heart is steady and anchored in faith. Calmness improves your decisions, softens your character, and strengthens your focus. It becomes easier to say no to what drains you, and yes, to what elevates you. That clarity alone opens more doors than effort ever could. Even in the moments when you feel surrounded by challenges, your calm heart becomes your protection. Shaitan wants you to panic because panic leads to mistakes, regret, and loss. But peace confuses him, he loses his grip. When you refuse to fear. A calm believer is dangerous to Shaitan because nothing shakes them except the awareness of Allah's greatness. Their heart remains unbreakable because it is not attached to dunya, it is attached to the one who controls dunya. When your heart chills, your du'as become stronger, your patience becomes easier, and your trust becomes deeper. That is when Allah says, "This servant is ready." Ready for what they prayed for, ready for what they were meant for, ready for a life that feels lighter, because Allah is carrying what once overwhelmed them. Calmness is the key that unlocks the gates of destiny. So breathe. Release what you can't control. Let Allah handle what He already promised to take care of. Stay calm and watch doors open, not because you forced them, but because Allah opened them for you. The moment you quiet your heart, that is the moment your blessings start making noise. 5W. Letting go attracts what is meant for you. There is a powerful shift that happens when you finally stop holding tightly to what is hurting you. The moment you release what drains your heart, you create space for what nourishes it. Letting go is not losing. It is clearing your soul from what is blocking your blessings. Many times, Allah won't send what is written for you until you remove what is wasting your time, your energy, and your peace. When you let go, you are telling Allah, "I trust what you have for me more than what I'm trying to hold on to." Holding on to people, habits, or dreams that Allah has already removed only delays what is meant to reach you. You cling because you fear emptiness, but sometimes emptiness is needed so Allah can fill your life with something far better. Not everything you lose is a loss. Sometimes the heaviest burdens are disguised as the things you beg Allah to keep. Letting go becomes liberation, a door closing with mercy so a better one can open. Attachment to the wrong things creates spiritual darkness. When your heart is tied to someone or something more than Allah, He will break that attachment to bring you back to Him. It hurts because you believed you needed what He removed, but He knew the truth that attachment would ruin you later. Letting go is the heart learning to breathe again, without depending on what was never meant to stay forever. Letting go is also a form of humility. It means acknowledging that your plans are limited, while Allah's plans are infinite. You may think you know what will make you happy, but Allah knows what will keep your heart safe. He sees the betrayal you can't yet see. He hears the conversations you weren't present for. He knows the intentions they hide behind kindness. When He removes someone, it is never without wisdom. Sometimes letting go is not a choice. Allah forces it when your heart refuses to release what harms it. He closes the door you were too afraid to walk away from. He breaks the bond you were too emotionally attached to. He creates distance where there used to be comfort, not to hurt you, but to save you. These sudden changes are not chaos. They are divine rescue missions. Letting go allows healing to begin. When your hand is no longer gripping what hurts, your heart begins to recover from the wounds it wasn't allowed to feel before. You stop suppressing emotions and start confronting them. You stop pretending and start transforming. Healing becomes possible only when you stop holding on to what broke you in the first place. There is beauty in letting go because it allows growth. Some people only loved the weaker version of you. Some places only accepted the smaller version of you. Some environments only benefited from the silent version of you. When you let go of what limits you, you make room for a version of yourself that Allah has been trying to develop stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. Letting go is not forgetting, it's accepting. It's saying, "This chapter served me, but it's time to turn the page." You honor what it taught you without forcing it to stay. You release expectations. Free yourself from the desire to control outcomes and allow Allah to rewrite your story without interference. That is maturity. That is surrender. People often say, trust the process. But letting go is the real test of that trust. It means believing that what is meant for you will never pass you by. That even when something leaves, it doesn't take your destiny with it. That Allah never subtracts without the intention to add something greater. Letting go is the highest form of tawakkul. When you let go, you stop chasing and start attracting. You stop clinging and start receiving. You stop begging for attention and start being guided toward those who truly value you. Real blessings do not enter hands that are full of desperation. They enter hands that are open with faith. The more you release what isn't for you, the faster what is for you finds its way. Letting go teaches you self-respect. You no longer settle for being an option in someone else's life. You no longer overextend yourself to prove your worth. You no longer fear being alone because you finally understand that loneliness with Allah is better than company with people who don't appreciate you. Respecting yourself becomes easier when you realize Allah already honored you. There's a peace that comes after letting go, a peace you never felt while holding on. The anxiety leaves, the overthinking stops, the confusion disappears. You feel lighter because you finally stopped fighting Allah's plan. You stopped insisting on what wasn't good for your heart. You stopped betraying yourself just to keep others. That peace is a sign that you made the right decision. Letting go is not weakness. It is strength wrapped in wisdom. It takes courage to release what once gave you comfort. It takes faith to walk into the unknown with only Allah by your side. But every believer who trusted Allah through their heartbreak will tell you the blessing that came after was worth every tear they shed during the letting go. One day, you will look back and thank Allah for everything He took away, because you will see what He gave in return. The job you didn't get, the person who left, the door that closed, all of it protected you. All of it redirected you. All of it shaped you into who you were meant to become. You will realize the delay wasn't denial, it was preparation. So let go gracefully. Release what isn't serving your soul anymore. Walk away from what Allah has already removed. Because when you finally loosen your grip on what hurts, you open your hands for what heals. And what Allah has written for you will always arrive not weighed down by fear, but carried by peace. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start trusting Allah more than your attachment. Because the moment you let go, that is the moment what's truly yours begins its journey toward you. Leo, patience is not waiting, it's believing. Patience isn't just sitting quietly while time passes. Patience is trusting Allah while everything inside you wants to panic. It is holding on to hope even when the situation looks hopeless. It is believing in Allah's promise even when the results haven't appeared yet. True patience means your heart remains calm because it knows Allah never delays without purpose. You don't just wait, you believe while you wait, and that belief becomes your strength. Most people think patience means being silent, but real patience is active. It is faith in motion. You wake up every day with the same dua in your heart. You continue doing the work. You keep moving forward, even if progress seems invisible. You don't give up on what you asked Allah for, because you know that the moment you stop believing is the moment you block your own blessing. Patience keeps you connected to the miracle that is on its way. Patience is trusting the unseen. You don't see how your story will unfold yet, but you still believe that Allah is writing something beautiful. You don't see the door opening yet, but you still believe there is a door. You don't see the plan clearly, but you trust the planner. When your heart has that level of certainty, waiting is no longer painful. It becomes worship. If Allah showed you everything He's arranging behind the scenes, your heart would fall into sujood from gratitude. But part of patience is believing in the wisdom you cannot see. Sometimes Allah hides progress to test your trust. Will you still have faith when nothing seems to be changing? Will you still believe when the delay becomes long? The answer to those questions determines whether you are waiting or truly practicing patience. Real patience changes your inner dialogue. Instead of asking, "Why isn't it happening yet?" you start saying, "I know Allah is preparing something better." You stop counting the days and start counting your blessings. You replace frustration with gratitude. You replace fear with tawakkul. And that shift transforms your waiting into a spiritual elevation that brings you closer to Allah. Patience protects your heart from shaitan's whispers. When he sees you waiting, he tries to convince you that Allah forgot you. He tries to make you settle for less than what you prayed for. But when your patience is rooted in belief, those whispers crash against a wall of unshakable faith. You stop being tempted by shortcuts because you trust that what Allah has will be worth every second of waiting. Being patient doesn't mean you never feel tired or sad. You still cry, you still feel pain, you still get overwhelmed. But despite all of that, you choose to hold on. Tears don't mean you lack patience. Tears mean your heart is still fighting to believe. Allah sees every tear, every silent prayer, every night you couldn't sleep. He knows how much strength it takes to keep going, and He rewards every moment of it. Patience means believing that Allah is working even when life looks silent. The healing you can't see is happening. The opportunities you don't know about are forming. The hearts that need to change are being changed. The doors that need to open are already unlocking. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Every prophet was tested with patience before they were honored with their promise. Yusuf, A.S., waited years in prison before reaching authority. Musa, A.S., waited decades in the desert before leading his people. Muhammad Sallam waited in hardship before Islam rose above oppression. Their stories prove one truth: patience does not delay destiny, it prepares you for it. Patience is not passive. It is a daily decision to trust Allah instead of your fears. It is refusing to question His timing while asking Him for guidance. It is continuing to make dua while believing the answer is already written. It is working toward your goals while knowing success is in His hands. Patience keeps you steady when the world around you feels unstable. Sometimes the waiting season is when Allah fixes what you don't even know is broken. Maybe your heart needs healing before the blessing arrives. Maybe your character needs strengthening. Maybe the environment needs rearranging. Maybe the other person involved in your blessing is not ready yet. Allah aligns every detail perfectly, even if His timing disagrees with your expectations. Patience means believing that every delay is a form of protection. If Allah gave you what you asked for too early, it might break you, it might overwhelm you, it might harm you. Allah delays to deliver better. He delays to mature your soul. He delays to elevate your reward. Every day you remain patient, your blessing becomes more perfected. Your patience today will become the reason for your joy tomorrow. One day, everything will make sense. One day you will look back and thank Allah for not letting things happen the way you wanted, because the way He planned them will be far more beautiful. What you're waiting for is not being denied. It's being designed. So keep believing even when waiting gets hard. Keep praying even when tears fall. Keep trusting even when your heart feels tired. Patience is not simply waiting. It is believing that Allah's promise is already on the way. And when your blessing finally arrives, you'll realize it wasn't the waiting that changed your life. It was the belief you kept alive during the wait. You don't need to chase what is already written for you. You don't need to panic about what is meant to be yours. Every blessing that Allah has written will arrive not a second early, not a second late, but exactly at the moment your heart is ready to receive it. What you're waiting for is already on its way. Your job is not to run after it, but to trust the one who is bringing it to you. The calmer you become, the more clearly you will see how Allah has been arranging everything behind the scenes. The connections, the timing, the protection, the redirection, all of it was part of His wisdom. So breathe, rest your heart. Stop carrying burdens that don't belong to you. Allah is in control of your story, not your fears. And Allah never forgets what you pray for in tears. He delays only to deliver it better than you imagined. What's written for you will always reach you with peace, not pressure, with blessings, not anxiety, with ease, not force. Stay calm, stay patient, stay grateful, because Allah's promise is true. Indeed, the help of Allah is near. Quran 2-214. And when your blessing finally arrives, you'll look back and smile, because you'll realize that calm was the bridge that brought it to you.